5 crankbaits that I like can't go without. Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and get right into it, and we are going to start with the Strike King 5XD. Look at that crankbait. This bait is 2.5 inches in length. It weighs 5/8, and it dives to 15 feet. But of course, if you use fluorocarbon with this bait, which I recommend, it could get deeper, could go deeper than 15 feet. I like to fish this 5XD on usually 15 or 16 pound test fluorocarbon, especially when I'm out on Lake St. Clair. But if you use 10 or 12 pound fluorocarbon, this bait is going to go deeper. Now, there are some times where I fish crankbaits on monofilament, and that is because sometimes I want the stretch on that bait to maybe help with a little bit of a hook set and to be a little more forgiving. A rod that I would fish this crankbait on would be a medium power moderate action rod, or a medium heavy power moderate action rod. You can use a medium fast, you can use a medium extra fast, whatever, but a medium moderate or medium heavy moderate is going to suit you best with this bait. I've caught a lot of fish on these baits over the years: rock bass, largemouth, smallmouth, pike. This is a very good bait. One of the only things I will say right out of the package is the hooks are not that good. Okay, so I do like to change the hooks out. Once in a while I will fish without changing the hooks out, but yeah, the Strike King 5XD, okay? That is bait number 1 that I'm going to list out of all 5 of these crankbaits. Now, we're also going to, at the end of the video, cover why I didn't go over, just follow me here. You know, another thing about this bait, too, is a lot of people will tell you that they mainly crankbait in the spring and the fall, but if you were wondering, yes, I have caught fish on this bait in the summer, okay? But anyway, bait number 2 is going to be, and this is in no particular order, this is going to be the Rapala DT-6, okay? Now, if you don't know what DT stands for on these baits, DT means dives to, okay? Or dives to. So, like I said, DT-6, this is the silver color. This is one of my favorite colors, if not my favorite color to use for largemouth bass. I've thrown this DT-6 on inland lakes, on drop-offs, and I've had a lot of success with it. Now, I have caught more fish on the DT-6 in the fall than I have the spring. I know that a lot of the Rapala baits, you will notice, have a tight wobble, okay? And like I said, in the fall, it's spring and the fall, but in the fall, that tight wobble is irresistible to bass. And, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play a clip that I'm sure you guys have already seen anyway, maybe 1 or 2, of me throwing this bait in a natural crawfish color for smallmouth bass. Rod tip up and burn it. Can't trigger a bite that way. I'm on. Get up here. All right. Not a big one. Not a big one, but still a good looking one. He had one on the jig. Okay, so we're not skunked for day 2. Not a big one, but there he goes. So along with that DT-6, I might as well add the Rapala DT-10, okay? Now, if you're wondering, why am I including the DT-10? Well, that is because, you know, obviously, the longer the cast you make with this bait, the longer it's going to stay in the area that you want it to, or the strike zone, whatever you want to call it. I will fish a DT-10, obviously, depending on the depth of the water. Sometimes I will actually take this crankbait and dig it down into the sand or into the rocks in, like, I don't know, 6, 8 feet of water. Sometimes that does get a lot of bites. I've had a lot of success doing that. But these Rapala DT baits, okay, one thing you're going to notice about these baits, a negative thing, is if you like take your rod and you like slap the water with these, I've actually had it to where the body of the bait will split, or part of the bill will break off, or the whole bill will break off. I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen the inside of a Rapala crankbait, but if you have, let me know in the section below. I have. They're pretty cool. And obviously, this is also common sense, but the bigger the bill, the deeper the bait will go. That's why you'll see like people compare like a DT-4, DT-6, DT, or CRR8, DT-10, whole bunch of cool stuff. So far, you have the 5XD, okay? You have the DT-6, and you have the DT-10. So, moving on, we are going to go to a little bait by Live Target that I haven't used in quite a few years, but it is killer for me in the springtime. And that is the Live Target Gizzard Shad crankbait. I'm pretty sure this is the Gizzard Shad crankbait. It's been so long since I fished it, but I do know for a fact that it is the 3/16 size, and this is a small little bait that, yes, I would throw on like a medium fast casting or a medium moderate casting rod. But this is a bait that I tell you guys about that I would take like spinning tackle just for fun, and I would fish this little shad in the spring. And like I said, haven't caught a fish on it in like a number of years, but I have also caught panfish on these. I do have friends that have bought these. I used to be a big fan of like Live Target, you know, over the years, and then I kind of slowed down on using them. The Live Target threadfin shad in the lipless was another good bait too. In the, of course, the threadfin shad and then the gold color, but I just kind of, you know, faded out and basically went to like Strike King, KVD, Megabass, stuff like that. But anyways, speaking of Megabass, we're going to go to the last bait that I'm including, and I've talked about this bait before, and that is the Megabass S-Crank 1.5. So, why did I add a square bill into the box? Well, of course, a square bill crankbait is a great way to catch fish. And this Megabass, like I've said in a video in the past, this Megabass actually had one of the biggest fish I've ever had on. And then the fish got off, but it was a muskie. It was on Lake St. Clair. I don't know if you've ever seen the action on a Megabass S-Crank 1.5, but if you see that hunting, it's very unique. It's very detailed, and yes, like I've said before, the baits are expensive, but I do believe in these baits. They're very nice. So, I mean, that basically covers the 5 baits that I listed. So, to go over it one more time, you do have the Strike King 5XD, you have the Rapala DT-6, the Rapala DT-10, you have the Live Target 3/16 threadfin shad, and you have the Megabass S-Crank 1.5. Okay, so, you also notice in the box that I do have Megabass Vision 110 Plus 1 and Megabass Vision 110. That video is on my channel as Megabass Vision 110 Yuki Ito, the money bait. I'm just letting you guys know, for any of you that are new to my channel, if you want to check that out, that is on there. And I have also talked about the Strike King Red Eye Shad before. Here you have a crawfish. You have a blue chrome one, I guess. Can't exactly remember the name. And then right here, pumpkin seed. How good does that bait look? How much does that make you think spring and summer? Oh man. But anyway, not to get sidetracked. Like I said, like these are just 5 baits that I picked. I also do fish the KVD 1.5 square bill crankbait, 2.5, the Strike King Red Eye Shad, and a bunch of other brands. I just wanted to pick these 5 to go over with you guys real quick. Give you a little breakdown, some of the things I know right off the top of my head. Don't go too crazy into it. I'm not going to fish braid on any of these baits either, okay? And if you're wondering why, give me a second. Let me see if I can go grab a box. Why do I not use braid for a crankbait? Well, first of all, you can use braid for a crankbait, but I don't, because braid has no stretch, okay? Braid is very strong, and yes, the diameter is smaller, but braided line, whether it is Power Pro, Seagar Smackdown, whatever, Godline, braid is good for pulling fish out of cover. It is good for frog fishing. Braid is good for punching, you know, punching the mats. I use braid when I'm fishing like heavy cover or when there's a reason for it. I mean, can you fish a crankbait or a jerkbait on braid? Yes, you can. Is it going to work? Yes. Will it give you no issues sometimes? Yes, it will. But, like I've said, sometimes you want that stretch of monofilament, okay, to aid you in a little bit better of a hookup. Because, you know, any bait that has treble hooks, the fish can easily get off, easily jump off, yada yada. Now, knowing your equipment and knowing how to handle it will also increase your hookup ratio. But, you know, fluorocarbon is another choice because fluorocarbon has close to the same refractive light properties as water, and fluorocarbon will get your bait down to the desired depth deeper. So, and I've already covered all this too in other videos. I don't want to go over it too much. But what reel I would use for a crankbait, you know, that might need to be cleaned. Shimano Curado MGL. I would use a casting reel, of course, with a 6 gear ratio. I mean, I know some people use a 5 because of the torque factor, but I like to use like a 6 2-to-1. Something with like 23 to 26 inches per turn. I feel like a 7. You can use a 7 for crankbaits, but in my opinion, I think a 7 is too fast. I think a 6 is perfect. Yeah, that might need to be cleaned. But anyway, so I just wanted to go over 5 crankbaits that I picked. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Just kind of hanging in there, staying busy. I've got this and Lucky Tackle Box, and then every time I say I'm going to take a break, I end up not doing it. So, I don't know. I'll see you guys next time.